Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
I bet you money that if they got rid of child support, alimony, Section 8, and low-income housing, that there's a lot of women out there that would change their attitude overnight.
Hey, what's going on, family? It's time for No Picks Podcast. I don't see any lies in what that man said. Now, not all, right? So there are the group of women out there that's doing it for themselves. Not all women have kids, right? Not all women are, you know what I mean? Yeah, so some women out there doing their own thing, not, worrying about men, blah, blah, blah. But for the most part, I would argue that women can have this cocky, well, my way or the highway kind of attitude because they're able to lean on those things, because they're able to lean on income from child support, right? Which I pay, able to lean on free, low income housing, able to lean on spousal support, alimony. In fact, so much so that when groups try to change the alimony laws and to make it a little bit more fair, because women today are doing it for themselves. They're strong and independent, and they don't really need a man, right? When legislation gets passed or tries to get passed that addresses these things and makes it more equal for the man, women's groups come out in fucking force, like, oh hell no, we can't change this shit. So in a lot of ways in society, women want it both ways when it comes to a man's like resources and provision. It's like, well, I don't particularly need you, so whatever, you can do whatever you want to do. I don't care. You could be here or not be here, or they can be here or not be here, but they still want the resources, right? So I'm gonna tell a story, right? So when I was married or whatever, so my ex and I, we were splitting up. We had two homes, right? So it was like we lived in a home together, and we had a rental home. So when we split the home, we split up. She kept the home that we were living in together, and I just kept the rental home. So it was like kind of like a fair break, right? So nobody paid anybody money or whatever at that time anyway, but nobody paid anybody money. It was fine. So fast forward, we fast forward. So no, not fast forward. So the day I left, I'm like, all right, I'm leaving. I'm like, all right, whatever. We had, some marital issues. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm leaving, see you when I see you. And she's like, all right, well, listen, because I was paying certain bills. So we were basically going 50-50 with stuff, right? So it's like, like, say, for example, like, we were splitting the mortgage, we were splitting the electricity. Electricity was always crazy because we didn't have heat. We had all electric, everything. So say there was sometimes in the winter where the electric bill would be like $800, $900, right? And we just split it right down the middle. It was never nothing, never an issue. Same thing with the Comcast, like Comcast, like I would pay that. She would pay the water. It was just like, it was really like a 50-50 kind of situation. She ended up resenting that later on, but that's a different conversation. Anyway, so when I'm leaving, I'm like, all right, well, whatever, things didn't work out. I had to go, go do my own thing. She's staying in the house. But as I was leaving, she was like, yo, listen, like you need to keep paying the same, bills and stuff that you were paying while you were living here after you leave. And I thought she was joking, but she was dead fucking serious. Right. So, but I'm like, that shit that didn't make any sense, right? So I'm like, so we were talking, and I'm like, yo, like, why would I do that shit? Like, what possible reason could I have to keep paying the bills as if I lived there? So basically, in her head, she's like, listen, although we aren't together anymore, the only thing that changes in her life is the fact that, like, I'm not there, but my resources are still there in the same way. Right. So in her head, she thought I was still gonna pay her car insurance. I was still gonna pay her cell phone bill. I was still going to like go half on all these things that we were going half on. And I'm like, I'm not doing that shit because I don't live there anymore. So I gotta pay for the stuff that where I live. I can't pay somewhere where I'm not living and pay where I'm living now. That doesn't make any sense. So but we were talking about this, and I'm thinking she's kind of joking in a way. She was dead fucking serious. So she stopped paying the Comcast bill straight up because she thought I was going to keep paying it. So Comcast calls me like 3 months later, like, yo, you owe us like $600. And I'm like, the fuck? Like, I'm not even living. So I call her. I'm like, yo, like, what's up with the Comcast thing? Like, why didn't you pay them? They calling me saying like I owe them money because the Comcast was in my name. She was like, oh, I thought you was going to keep paying it because we talked about that. I was like, what the I was like, no. I'm not living there anymore. I'm like, listen. So then this is literally what I said to her. I was like, yo, it would be different if I had a key to the house and I could just go in there and watch a fucking basketball game and sit on the couch if I wanted to. you change. I can't go. I don't have access to the house anymore. So why would I pay for something that I don't have any stake in anymore? Like, this doesn't make any sense. So I had to like go to this office in whatever, somewhere in Philly, and sign these paperwork to take it out of my name. And then she removed Comcast in general overall because she didn't want to pay for that shit. But I'm like, yo, how a lot of women view relationships is like, listen, I'm gonna leave you, but I still want your resources, i.e. child support, i.e. alimony, i.e. Spousal support. Like, the only thing that should change in a woman's mind in a lot of these situations is that you're no longer here, but all the perks of having you are still here. That shit doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, no, if you take that shit away, I think women would be less likely to be like, okay, like on some. Now there are some things obviously that people shouldn't put up with and wouldn't put up with. But there are a lot of times people get divorced. Women get, a lot of times you ask a woman, hey, why you get divorced? I just wasn't happy no more. I think that shit wouldn't exist. I don't think women would just get divorced because they no longer happy or they not vibing with their husband anymore. Because guess what? If their husband dip, then you might have to go back home to your mom. You might have to go, live in your car. You might have to go van life it up. So what he's saying is not what he's saying is real shit. The only reason women are so gung-ho to leave dude, I think for the most part, to leave dudes and be like, oh, well, hey girl, you see these women on TikTok all the time. Oh, he don't change diapers. You leave his ass. Okay, you can leave him, but you're still going to expect money from him. So it's not like it would be different if these strong, independent women would be like, I'm strong and independent and I don't need a man or a man's money. How about y'all add that part? And I'd be like, damn, these chicks really out here killing. They out here doing it. They not playing around. They'd be like, I don't need no man. But the part they ain't saying, the part in the fine print that, y'all women high five each other in the nail salon is, I don't need a man, but I need a man's money. So you do need, you ain't really all that strong and independent then, right? Anyway, I thought this shit was funny. Bull didn't tell a lie at all. This shit was 100% facts. And again, not there are some women who do it by themselves, but a lot of these women on a strong independent shit, they on low income, they get low income housing. So you ain't strong and independent because the government's paying for you to live somewhere. They get child support. You ain't strong and independent. You're fucking your baby dad's helping you live. You ain't strong and independent. The spousal support shit, you ain't strong and independent. You are reliant on your ex-husband's money to survive. That's the opposite of strong and independent. Anyway, I know women don't see it like that. I'm sure I know women don't see it like that, but I mean, it's just logically the case. Anyway, let me know what y'all think, family. Like, comment, subscribe, and until next time.